Good evening, folks. It's Matt Rogers. Now we're looking at the European Southern Observatory. This Webb telescope cam shows a lot of strange pictures. We've seen pictures like this and other pictures very similar a long time ago. It is now the 11th of December 2024. Now, in particular with this cam, I'm going to show you there's something very wrong with the picturesque image. Because indeed as well, there is something showing down below as well. You can see the refraction of light is so different than what we saw of a sun refraction of light from even 1996. Because by looking at the sun for 2024, we notice it is like a mirror, or it's some kind of light refraction of a light source, a solar simulator, a reflector that shows up when the sun goes into darkness. I mean, it is so apparent you can see and notice the dark sky. Now, for all of us, as I spoke just 2 minutes ago about the phenomena of the natural sky in 1996, even through the different seasons, it was a beautiful deep blue sky with a golden yellow sun. But now it's so apparent that we are now noticing something that looks so much different from the natural sun. I mean, you can see the shape and formation. Where is the celestial mechanics of the golden sun? Noticeable now, we're seeing a square object, a huge mirror. We spoke about this on different videos as well. Mountains of times, talking about the phenomena of a reflector, something reflecting light when the sun goes into darkness. Now, talking about Nemesis, the destroyer, Nibiru, Helion, Farada, Arboda. Those planets cause astronomical darkness, shadows, light refractions. Now, there's many pictures being sent in as well. You can see them on different web pages. People are noticing now, folks, where they can see the colour formations on cloud systems that don't look right. But indeed as well, the powers that were will still show that this is our natural sun. People talk about and also look into their mobile phone devices, technology, being at home, not looking up. There's people walking around, just heads down, folks. Please look up to the skies. You will notice this object shows up randomly. It isn't our sun, folks. What we're looking at is indeed a solar simulator. Indeed, I had an email this morning explain, when will this phenomena start to show up in our skies? Now, I do not have an answer for this, folks, but indeed what we're noticing, even way back at the timestamps and also the correct pictures and also noticing differences, there is something of this blue refraction of light that is showing up, where you can see down at ground zero towards the European telescope. And even when we see the telescope pointing up to the heavens on this particular picture with another camera, it looks white. It looks strange. It doesn't look like our sun. Even the cloud formations look very, very strange. Even today now, folks, something is different. See, when we see from ground zero towards sunlight, in particular, going back to 1983 on a photograph, but indeed this illustration was taken in 1983, but you can see naturally down towards where we can see the mountains, down towards Earth, even photographers, illustrators, people were able to capture the truth of something that we see refractions of yellow light beaming down towards where we see a golden sun. Even when we see pictures now, even from 2018 onwards, we start to see pictures, captures of a white sun and also beaming bright blue light refractions across the landscape. Then going back towards the European Southern Observatory, where you notice as well that indeed 9th of December 2024, so we're seeing this webcam on the 9th of December. So indeed again, they're very careful, aren't they? Because before they would upload the live cams to the very hour, but now they're leaving it for a couple of days Are they checking things out first of seeing if there's any strange phenomena going off before passing on the information where we see on the webpage? Because indeed, when you look up, and many people, sadly, will think this is normal. This indeed is not normal, because we see two light refractions. Behind the light refraction, we can see a yellow haze, but in the background, outer area as well, we can see this blue refraction of light, the solar simulator, a cover-up. Here is the panoramic image as well. Now, this brought my attention because I spoke to somebody very important, a friend of mine, Wayne, that is based in the United Kingdom. And when I started doing the channel, I spoke to him in detail. He then said, Matt, go to the webcams. So I did, and also now I'm looking at it in detail, and I'm very shocked because I can see a difference. And when I talk about the different videos as well, like short, small documentaries about other things as well, please watch them. It's important. It's just basically just talking about different things in our solar system. So going back to this cam is absolutely shocking. It blew me away because indeed blue skies have changed. There is no apparent beautiful blue sky anymore. It's like a dark apparition in the background. There's something that is different. It does indeed look like a nighttime sky. But again, when we see this haze, I mean, again, for the timestamp, both timestamps, very, very strange. But then when you look at it in detail, this phenomena, this isn't our sun, folks. I'm just suggesting, okay? I do not want to worry anybody. But then going back to the webcams, this, what we notice, is artificial. It is artificial sunlight. Because if this was our natural sunlight, it would be beaming across, right across, like a golden haze across where we see the horizon. But indeed, this is what shook me as well. And other people have suggested this, have seen this as well, saying what's going on to our cloud systems. But indeed, what we're noticing here as well is very, very bizarre. Clouds falling out of the skies. This isn't normal. Where is the beautiful fluffy clouds across where we see the horizons? They're gone, folks. There's something else going down. I would like to suggest of what I spoke about as well, about fireballs above the Earth's atmosphere out there in space. Many asteroids. We've taken pictures and photography evidence of asteroids, space rocks. Now, going back, like I explained way back some years back, we all monitored this and noticed this. Other channels that have seen this as well, like Mr. Dave Dobbs, notice that there wasn't many asteroids or space dust rocks. Now, for 2024, folks, this isn't being spoke about through the media to the public. For this year alone, there is multiple trillions of pieces of space rock that are up there, folks. Where have they come from? Even space dust. Now, asteroids are dangerous. We all know this. Fireballs in the sky. There's been more reports beyond reports. I mean, it's been going on for quite some time. But when we look at it, like we're noticing on this other European Southern Observatory video evidence, every time we see dark astronomical shadows, when things start to change, we start to see this milky sky system. Clouds, but indeed there is a dark astronomical shadow that's beaming through the skies. You can just see the blue sky to the right side of where we see this hilltop area. But look at the refraction of light as well, witnessed when we notice all the technology down below. Notice that white refraction of light. Where is the golden light? At the timestamp as well, at 14:12. I mean, this is up to date. Today's date, the 11th of December 2024. But there's something so different at that timestamp. When we see the astronomical shadows, which indeed they are, because there's something causing a dark shadow out there in space. Now, sadly, they think they're clever at it. They think they're so clever to cover up the skies at this point in time. They've been doing it for years. They've got so clever, they think they're getting away with it. But like I spoke to a good few people as well, there's only us, thousands upon thousands of people in our community, our Nibiru Planetex community, that know that something's going on. But indeed, the powers that were don't really care about that because they know that we know. But they want to cover up the truth of the masses, the sheeple in the world, to stopping them from seeing something of a sighting before it's completely too late. And when it's too late, there's going to be absolute chaos. This indeed is the Apex Cam. This camera is new towards the European Southern Observatory Telescope technology. So this is very important because when the change happens between when we see a dark astronomical shadow in front of sunlight, which indeed just disappears at a fraction of a moment, but then this object, the solar simulator, gets switched on. I mean, again, those of the powers that were, they really believe, the scientific community, that this is working. They should now come out with the truth and just explain that something is happening towards the public. We deserve the right to know. But even on this particular piece of evidence, this refraction of light where we see with a huge disk at the timestamp again, 12 for the 12th, 2024, notice that golden refraction of light is slowly starting to disappear. I mean, folks, it's so clear because even at that timestamp as well, look how dark the area is. I mean, the sky is much more bluer. I mean, this is thousands upon thousands of feet high above sea level where we see these telescopes and cameras. So, I mean, going back to 1997 or something, this area view site would be lit up beautifully with golden sunlight. Okay, what we're seeing here is a view site of the All Sky Cam, the Moonglow Cam. Now, this particular camera is showing something very unusual, showing a huge dark formation. Now, notice, just like what we saw on the European telescope cams, notice this dark astronomical shadow. I mean, it's everywhere, folks. Every part of where we see the skies, it becomes a lot dark. Much now, because people have got used to seeing this dark astronomical shadow, because they've been covering the skies, or something has been covering the skies, or the cloud systems are so different. Whereas a lot of people think that the clouds are causing the astronomical shadows, but indeed no, because when you look at the sunlight that's moving, we can see the sun moving when the Earth is rotating, and noticing at some parts of the day, randomly, they're using a simulator, a device, a Fresnel lens. I mean, here we go again. We can see a huge object, celestial bodies. I mean, the timestamp and the date just suggests that something huge. Now, somebody else explained to me as well, Matt, the weather's changing. Now, if you think about it as well, this time of the year, okay, every single year since 2014 of this part of the year, November, December, in the afternoons, we're getting a lot more information about floods, a lot of very strange phenomena, hurricanes, something very different. And one of the news broadcasts really jumped out towards me whilst watching him from NOAA, the weather people, and they explained through the news media, and this guy started to really get really emotional. He got really, really emotional. And even the news presenter, the lady, had stated this guy was absolutely crying. He was very, very worried. Now, again, we've all known this. There's something going on. Now, why did that person, that colleague at NOAA, get very upset? Because he knows that there is a big change. The Earth is changing. The weather patterns are changing. Something in our solar system, not just the Earth, but other known heavenly bodies, are affecting our solar system. Nemesis. This particular piece of evidence is pointing east to north to west. We can see the summary of dates, single column image throughout the past 24 hours. Now, the only reason why I'm showing this calculation is because parts of the skies to this side are showing astronomical shadows. Now, indeed, we've gone through this millions of times, and I suggest, like I said before, even if we just pick up one or two people that can start to see the change of the phenomena, the change of what we're seeing of a difference, that is a goal, that is a score to all of us. That somebody is starting to see a difference. Now, it all began as well in 2016. And indeed, I couldn't produce videos. I couldn't do anything like this. So I took a look up towards the heavens, and I noticed this pink haze. This pink haze through the cloud systems around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was busy, a busy day. And I noticed this and I thought, what's going on here? I could see this pink refraction of light. The sun was yellow, this golden colour. The cloud systems were white, but this strange astronomical colour was beaming down from the sun, and it looked like iron oxide, like a blood red colour. And I thought to myself, there's something different here, what's going on? And then I came across some fantastic people like Jeff P., a real good friend of mine, and other people as well, like Russ Ackerman, and there was Steve Olson. I mean, I spoke about Dave Dobbs in this video as well. Those people had talked about this for a good number of years. So I started to look at different channels like Iris Turner, fantastic person that knows there is a change. There's something going on. At first I thought there can't be anything going on because we're on Mother Earth and everything looks fine, because at ground zero nobody's looking up. So I thought, well, it could have just been normal. But that stuck in my mind, because things stick in your mind. You have this gut feeling, folks. You really do. And it's so hard to try and talk about it in front of family members, colleagues. And when you start to talk about it, they just look at you with a blank look, like you're some kind of alien. And you think, and you hold it to yourself, and it can drive you mad, because you know something's different. And nobody on the media is talking about it. There's been brief comments as well about scientists that have looked out towards the heavens and suggested and seen, noted and used technology to be able to capture something of a sighting, and then all of a sudden their information vanishes. And then people sadly have passed away in the 1990s, like Dr. Robert Harrington sadly passed away and lost his life. He had a team of people that sadly lost their lives as well. There was a plane that had about 30-40 scientists on it, and that plane crashed in the 1990s. What went on there? Did they know? Because if you know something, or you're trying to direct people to see this phenomena, then you're just closed down. And again, we are just suggesting that something could be different. Like I spoke about seeing two orbs in the sky. I was looking at the stars. I was doing this for quite a number of months. It became like a hobby, using a smaller telescope and just viewing the heavens. And I'd like to state as well that one particular night in 2015, November, around about 2 a.m., it was getting a bit cold. So I as I was closing the windows, I could see something moving up there in the heavens, because I saw the stars very clear. It was a clear night. And I was studying the other planets in our solar system as a hobby. And all of a sudden, I noticed these two objects. So I looked up and I zoomed in to have a look. And I could see two dim stars. Now, I know this sounds very bizarre, but when you start to notice the solar system, you start to recognize the different stars in the star systems. You know where they are. And these two objects, I didn't see them before. They looked like two dim stars, two dark stars. And then all of a sudden, they lit up. Both of them at the same time. They lit up, very bright, as if they were communicating. It was quite scary, but at the time of the moment, I felt quite confident, and I didn't feel any panic. And then all of a sudden, they both moved down towards the southern skies. And that blew me away, folks. And then since then, I started to become more and more aware that something else is going on. Thinking out the box. We've said this before about thinking out the box. See, this is all this channel's doing, just like others. Just have a step out the box and have a think about it. I would like to say as well, when I spoke to Steve Olson, WSO, a good number of years ago, we're talking about 2016, we spoke to each other quite a lot. And he suggested, because I stated that I've been seeing some very strange phenomena through the day and night skies. I saw the moon light cloud systems, but above the moonlight, I saw this jet black sky. I mean, it was so clear and black that I'd never seen it as black as that. And then all of a sudden, I see these two golden orbs appear behind the cloud systems and then disappear. And that blew me away as well. I spoke about this to Russ Ackerman, another fantastic gentleman, a friend, because we're all friends in this community. And it's important, isn't it? Very, very important. Because when seeing those formations, like I stated as well, I wasn't able to do videos. I couldn't express my feelings or even get the information out. So other people helped me, and I started to produce work and show things which are of highly importance. But indeed, he stated, Mr. Steve Olson said to me, Matt, when you see something, just write it down, draw it, make a diagram, just draw something and use colours and just basically draw the picture of what you've seen and then keep it in your head, and then when it comes to producing videos, show them, which I did. And like this is one of the sketches I'd like to show of when I spoke about that 2015 mid-afternoon, around about 2 in the afternoon, very busy day, and I saw this pink haze, this pink colour beaming from the sun, a yellow sun, beamed very strong. Like we can see the colour of the sun on this diagram, which was made, but you can see this red refraction of light of the space debris, trash, ash, and I'm talking about billions and billions upon miles long, that's moving across on this elongated orbit. I mean, look at the orbit. This is the known celestial body's orbit around our sun. This is where we see the Earth. And indeed, this object that carries Nibiru, Helion, Farada, Arboda, and other smaller bodies. But indeed as well, this object, beaming light, where we can see as it's closer to Earth, it will beam this iron oxide, this red light, reflections of light from Nibiru, Planet X. Or are we seeing just something else? See, folks, on this video, I'm just suggesting, I'm not pointing the finger, saying this is it, doomsday. It is not. But we can see the astronomical colours as something different. I've said this before, other people in our community will know this, that I've written to space agencies when I've seen different pictures and photography, and I've given my original photographs and video evidence, and I get nothing back. Nothing comes back whatsoever. Do they know? Like Mr. Marshall Masters from Yowza.com, he sends out some amazing reports about the coming cataclysms, talking about volcanic activity. The volcanic activity is changing, folks. It's different. Weather patterns, they're changing, folks. Now, even I spoke about other people as well. Mr. John Moore, a fantastic guy. He has a radio show. He produces it onto YouTube. I listen to it every single day. The man, he is a godsend, folks. He deserves an award because his passion is to show the absolute truth. His passion to show. We have all got a passion. Every single person that I've named on this video have all got passions. We've all, by watching these videos, all have a passion. We've had it for a long time in our hearts. Okay? We all know this. But Mr. John Moore spoke about in a documentary about an object that is causing weather patterns. He explains as well that the phenomena of the weather patterns, humans on Earth will get used to this, just as long as the media is pushing the lie continually, saying it is man-made. saying it is us that's causing the climate change. Folks, our solar system is lit up like a candle now. When you remember, a lot of us in our community, a long time ago, even when we were all at school or college, way back 70s, the 80s, early 90s or 80s, which I was, and they, in those scientific books way back then, we could see photographs of Saturn, we could see photographs of Jupiter. They were much darker. Those pictures were much darker from the scientific history. And now, when we see those pictures that are being photographed by other technology, much, much lighter, they state as well, we can just clean up the camera, we can clean up the photograph just to get you to have a closer glimpse and a lighter glimpse of what we can see now. No, folks, because the technology way back then as well was so advanced. They needed special cameras out there in space to take photographs of known heavenly bodies to be able to get a glimpse, but it was much, much darker. Anyway, I'm going to go now, and I'll be back with another broadcast of showing some more very important pictures. We're going through some other webcams and images. I would like to interview people as well, have a chat and talk about Nibiru Planet X. I've got time on my hands now, folks. And again, I'm so pleased I'm back to be able to talk through this. Talk through the experiences that we've had about the phenomena of what we've seen of the changes. Ghostly skies, something showing through the cloud systems. It's so highly important because I know, other people know in our community, other channels, they all know that something is being hidden from us. I mean, the IRAS telescope, that was run by Dr. Robert Harrington, Dr. Robert Sutton Harrington, folks. He run that telescope. And then when he spoke to Zachariah Sitchin on an interview, only, again, 6 months later, something happened to him. Sadly, he died of cancer. This is what they stated. They could throw anything in the works. They could say absolutely anything. The powers that were. Think about it. Those people that sadly passed away at the South Pole Telescope. 2011. Something had happened. They explained that scientists had alcohol problems at the telescope. Think about it. How on earth can you have an alcohol problem, right? All that way down at the SPT telescope. You're not going to do it, are you, folks? You're not going to do that. You are committed to find scientific research through the radio frequencies in infrared out there in space to pick up objects. But then somebody had seen something, somebody had found something, somebody had sighted something, and they don't want anybody else to know. They don't want to know. For those that are awake, they're happy just with a few like us, but they do not want the mass to know. From Matt Rogers.